Statement's good. Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Monday Magic. And today we're just gonna outcreate what we created before. And I have invited Elisabeth Schuijt, like on an instant creation here with me. Welcome, Elisabeth.
Thank you. Great to be on. It was instant.
It was really instant. She asked if we could chat, and I said, yes, live. How does it get any better?
Smart.
And thank you for taking up the challenge. And so I'm just going to say something in Danish for the Danish people. Så i dag, der skal vi snakke om at skabe øjeblikkeligt. Og det bliver på engelsk i dag. Så velkommen til Mandags Magi, og se hvilken magi I kan få ud af det. Og ellers så kan I lytte igen. So yeah. Instant creation. This is the day of instant creation. We are both currently attending the Access Consciousness Global Foundation.
Yes.
Which is a ton of tools to get rid of everything that gets in the way and limits you from creating the life that you desire, basically.
Yes, in a nutshell. Yeah.
Yeah, in short form.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
No, I wanted to say the funny thing is that I listened to the first day, and then the second day the second part of the first day I was so tired, so I was planning on listening in my bed. But after I think 5 minutes or so, I fell asleep. But I woke up totally different, and that was so cool.
Yeah, your limitations went away while you were sleeping. Awesome.
Totally. I loved that. That was really cool.
So and what this morning, I woke up this morning and we've been going on, like we're doing the evening classes. There's been meetings in the night, and so very limited sleep, and still fresh. And this is also the interesting part, is what we can choose. And I woke up this morning and I looked on Facebook, and there was this lady who wrote, is there anyone who has a foundation just in the beginning of April in Denmark? And I was like, And I know she was trying to go to the Global Foundation, but her payment didn't come through. And she tried 3 times and she couldn't get it to come through. And so in Access, we would ask that question, what's right about this I'm not getting? And then she asked, she stepped up and she asked out, is there anyone who has a foundation? And so I went on the Access Consciousness page and looked if anyone had a foundation in Denmark. And no one had a life foundation. And so I took an instant choice. I asked a question, but I actually chose to, okay, let's create one. And let's ask her, can I bring one to you? And the funny part is that there was more people who liked to bring it to her. It's like she chose something in her life and then she created it. And so we created one. Just because we could.
Yeah, right.
So what do you know about creating, Elisabeth? Like in weird ways, different ways.
In weird ways, yeah. If I create from, let's start with when it doesn't work. When I create from, I have a problem, I have to change it, solve it. It's usually a lot of pain, a lot of control, and not fun and not ease. I usually get what I decided I would like to get, but it takes a lot of effort. And if I'm just if I'm occupying way more space, my space, and like really being connected with me and with a lot of, well, everything around me basically, then it's and then I ask a question, but not from problem, but from, well, like what else is possible, for example, or if I would like this, what would this create? And yeah, that kind of questions. Then it usually goes effortlessly and quite fast also. So that is really recommendable, basically.
So
It's not wrong. It's not wrong. The effort thing works as well, but it's a lot more effort and a lot more control, and it excludes all the possibilities that could have been given and shown if I would have asked the question.
exactly. And
So.
and also I get more and more the choice. It's like it's both the question, you ask a question, and then the possibility, all the possibilities comes up when you ask a question. Okay, what else is possible here? Or what can I create that could be fun for me? Like it's really, really fun to change somebody's world in an instant when there seems to be no possibilities. And I get to say, well, how many possibilities can we create today? And then there is one. That's fun for me, to create possibilities with others. Like right now when we're talking, like we're creating something different in the world by just having this conversation. And I'm looking at when we choose something, there is no thinking involved really. When we go like that, we ask a question, all these possibilities shows up, and I just grab one. That's the fun for me. That's how it's fun for me. Or when you write me and you say, can we have a chat? And it can start with everyday lives, you know. Of course, you know, it's like, what's going on in the world? And and we perceive no, not at all. What's going on in the world, and we're perceiving what's going on in the world, and we start to think it's us, and you know, because our space is filled up with everyday life.
Yeah.
And then you said, can we chat? I have other people I do chat with, and then we are not far in the chat. We ask a question. It's like one of us will ask a question because the other one has a problem, and funny enough, we're willing to step into being the space for another. If we may not want to be willing to acknowledge that we are space and filled it up with a lot of crap from the world around us, but we're willing to be this space for others. And especially when I have the conversations with you, Elisabeth, I just want to acknowledge this is an every timer. It's like one of us will come up, go, oh, I need to talk to somebody because it's caving in on me. And the other one would be something like that space you're talking from creation, but not on purpose, just will be there with it. And suddenly, you know, one of us will go, the one who had the problem would go, oh, it's so nice to be you, you're so much space, but you really were feeling not space when we started talking. And and it's like, how much possibilities and space are you all that are listening and gonna listen to this? How much do you know, and what can you really be that you have not acknowledged because you just think and start thinking that, or feel the world of that you're perceiving is yours. And you're not really. So right. Yeah, I'm going to use the access consciousness clearing statement again. And everywhere you have been buying that the world of perception as your reality, as thought, feeling, and emotion, and something you have to live, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Rise on good bed, put on nice shorts, boys and beyonds. You have a pot poker.
Yes. Now you know what a pot poker is.
It's a slave who says the clearing statement.
Yeah. But how lucky are you? You get to say the clearing statement and get clear. So yes.
Yeah, but what you said is very funny, because when if you're not acknowledging the space you be, even if you're like, it's just that you're focused usually on something else. So if you feel dense, then you're probably focused, in my case at least, I'm focused on the thing that's not working and I want to solve it and I want to change it and it's annoying and it's blah, blah, blah. But then if I, for example, if you call, or if I speak to something, or a bird flies, or there's this blue sky and I'm willing to look up, then I'm like, oh, there's a whole world outside there. Like,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
and that changes instantly often. This focus on this thing that is not right, not good, or annoying, or has to change, or whatever conclusions there are going on for it. So
yeah. As the sky doesn't conclude, the bird doesn't conclude, and somebody just call that was not prepared for it does not conclude about it because they don't know what it's going to be about.
no, exactly.
So this is where I kind of caught Elisabeth today. It's like, oh, can we just have a chat just for fun? And then here we are with everyone, and not excluding everyone, and creating something for someone else, maybe in 5 years listening to this. How awesome is that? And yeah, so the way I create is not linear, and it doesn't follow any line. When I have to plan it, you talked about it too, it doesn't work. Or when you have to solve a problem, I can solve a problem. That's not true. I actually change them by changing me, like you said, you change your perspective, like choosing something different. So when we plan things and it gets really heavy, it's usually because there's something that's not working, something that's a lie in our world. We get stuck. And one of the things that I actually would like to address is, that's really funny, because it was just on the Global Foundation, we started talking about, there's something called the 10 keys. I can always talk to them another time, but the 10 keys to total freedom. And one of them is no competition. And what occurred was, I put this class up. I talked to this lady, I put this class up. Let's see who else we can invite in this instant creation we were doing. And then suddenly there was someone else saying, okay, I can gather 3-4 people and somebody else can come. And this weird energy came up. The weird energy of when there's 2 or more, then of course you are competing about this thing. But when I talk about it, is it light or not? Is it heavy or light?
It's what the
when I talk about this, when I talk about this, and then there's more people coming and it's competition. Is it heavy or light?
The competition is heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not true. It's a definition, a conclusion, a computation. Something we concluded that when all these things go on, that's when competition occurs, when more people shows up with the same product. But we all know that you and I are not the same product. We can never be. I know that. I would say other access consciousness facilitators also know that, but the world doesn't know it.
So you mean that if you do a class and someone else does a class, that it doesn't have to be competing, but it can coexist?
Yes, and that's my world. That's my reality.
But you probably don't have a conclusion about what is showing up. You're not comparing like, oh, they have 10 and I have 2, or I have 10 and they have 2. You don't have any conclusions about the result.
No.
And you're not good nor bad, nor is the other one good nor bad.
But I like to talk about the world closing in, like the perception. We have perception of what other people that read it or see it, like project on it. And so all the conclusions and computations and decisions that we have bought from anyone else about competition, about what it is to create simultaneously and be in the space. Can we destroy and uncreate it all, please?
Right, doing good, but put on my shorts, boys and beyonds.
Yeah. And welcome, there's new people popping on. So we're talking about creation here. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. So guys, if you like me or Elisabeth can instant create, like we just jump into something and we go like, okay, let's see what shows up here. And people are saying you are too busy. You are just trying to get in other people's space because you want to be seen. They are actually the ones functioning from the competitions, the one who projects that to you and not you. You are not it. Keep going. Keep showing up. And keep creating, please. Creating your life like it works for you. So you also said something, Elisabeth, about when you look at a problem, like if you have a job, because you can create, like I create classes and I go out with them. You create in a different way, I know. What do you create with? Like when you go to work, how do you create?
Well, it's not different. I first create a space. I ask a question and I ask how much fun can it be? I'm calling a lot of people. So when I notice that I'm like, oh, I'm tired, and the energy of the person I spoke to before or whatever I'm picking up is still sticking, and I'm taking a phone call with that energy, it's not going to be a fun phone call.
No.
Usually not, because that's so usually before I start, I create my own space, I'm like, hello. And yeah, it's a good thing we're not video calling at that moment. But yeah, then it's creating something different. And that's basically the same as with the problem. If you create the space you're creating from is helpful.
Yeah. And also I can use the declaring statement, like the POD-POC, point of creation, point of destruction, or on destroy and uncreate everything that the last thing I did was, or the last class I did, or the last creation I had, because none of them are the same. It'll never be the same. We change, like just this conversation, we just changed. And so the next time we have a conversation, we cannot actually refer to this conversation as something to build on. That's a lie. That's like the heavy thing. I'm going back to something and see if we can recreate it because we had such an awesome conversation. So we're going to recreate that conversation. No, well, the awesome thing about it is recorded, so we can always watch it.
The energy is there. Yeah, no, but it's true. It reminds me of when you have an amazing dinner or lunch at a restaurant. Yeah. And you're like, what shall we go for? And that one doesn't pop, but you're like, no, but it was so good last time. And then it turns out that it's crappy because the cook is sick, or that they're fully booked, or that the dish you had last time is taken off the menu. So ask a question. Is it going to be fun? What would you like to go to? Body, like the body is eating. So maybe include that in the question for choosing a restaurant. But
for anything, so, Elisabeth.
Exactly. But for restaurants, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to go from conclusions and from the past experiences and projections and all the things. And you're surprised then that it didn't turn out as you hoped, expected, and as it would last time. But yeah, if you don't ask a question, it's kind of hard to get the information, right?
And we set ourselves up for disappointment.
Exactly.
And
totally.
And then we can really conclude too that now it's never going to work, and then we can go down the rabbit hole.
We suck. We're stupid. Yeah. We're whatever we are. Yeah, definitely.
So everywhere,
This
guys.
question things doesn't work. I had to add that one.
Yeah. So everything this is, everywhere you guys all have been there and done that and
Got a
created
bunch
your
of t-shirts.
yeah, I bought all the t-shirts and created your life from that or your body from that. Will you now destroy and uncreate everything you created there and
Right.
choose something new?
Right, you're on good bed, put on nice shorts, boys and beyonds. It's so much easier and so much more fun and joy, and it's
Yeah.
so much more space, basically.
Now we're at the space again. So yeah. So thank you so much, Elisabeth, for showing up for this. I hope
Thank
you
you.
guys have some joy from this and some more space for creation. Please go create something different and fun for you. And if it's fun to go linear, easy for me to say linear, go linear. Don't do like we do just because we say so. Do what works for you. Thank you guys. Bye. See you next Monday. And next Monday is going to be in English, in Danish. So come listen to the fun of the Danish language.